The relationship between the federal government and American universities is being tested like never before. At the center of this standoff is a major dispute between the Trump administration and Harvard University. The controversy revolves around the administration's demands for changes to Harvard's hiring, admissions, and program policies. Changes tied directly to the university's receipt of federal funding. This case is not just about Harvard. It could redefine how American universities operate under federal oversight. American universities draw on multiple funding sources to finance their operations. These include tuition and fees, endowment income, research grants, private donations, and services like university hospitals. Federal government support primarily comes through student financial aid, research and development grants, and targeted institutional support. State funding, while critical to public universities, has declined in recent decades, making institutions more dependent on tuition. Universities also benefit from tax-exempt status, which allows them to reinvest more into their educational mission. However, this status can be challenged, giving the government an additional lever of influence. Harvard boasts the largest university endowment in the world, over $53 billion as of fiscal year 2024. Distributions from the endowment account for 37% of the university's operating revenue. Yet, federal funding remains essential, especially for research. In 2024, Harvard received $686 million in federal research grants, which represented 68% of its sponsored research revenue. While Harvard's financial strength is unmatched, donor restrictions on endowment funds and the importance of federal dollars for research make it vulnerable to government pressure. The controversy follows the pro-Palestinian protests that erupted on college campuses in response to the Israel-Hamas war. The Trump administration accused Harvard and other universities of failing to address anti-Semitic incidents, using this as a basis for Title VI investigations. These concerns quickly expanded to include broader issues, such as the use of diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI programs, and a perceived lack of viewpoint diversity. Federal officials signaled their intent to condition future funding on substantial policy reforms, marking a significant escalation in federal intervention on campus affairs. The administration issued a wide-ranging set of demands to Harvard. These included enforcing merit-based hiring and admissions, explicitly banning preferences based on race, religion, sex, or national origin. Harvard was also told to shut down all DEI programs, regardless of their titles or functions. Additional requirements included auditing faculty for plagiarism, increasing ideological diversity, monitoring student conduct more strictly, and banning face coverings at protests. The administration also directed Harvard to scrutinize international students for views deemed hostile to American values. Harvard refused to comply with the administration's demands. In a public statement, President Alan Garber affirmed the university's commitment to academic freedom, free expression, and institutional independence. The university acknowledged the need to combat anti-Semitism, but rejected the proposed agreement, stating that it exceeded lawful authority and infringed on constitutional rights. Harvard's legal counsel formally reiterated this position, signaling the university's readiness to defend its principles in court if necessary. In response, the administration froze over $2.2 billion in grants and contracts. Harvard is not alone. The Trump administration has targeted other institutions, including Columbia, Princeton, and the University of Pennsylvania. Over 50 universities are now reportedly under investigation, with many facing warnings or paused funding. Columbia chose to comply with the federal demands to restore its funding. Harvard's defiance, on the other hand, may inspire other institutions to stand firm. This standoff signals a shift in the higher education landscape, where universities must now navigate increasing demands from Washington. Legal scholars and advocacy groups have raised red flags over the administration's approach. Critics argue that using Title VI to push ideological conformity violates academic freedom and the First Amendment. Faculty groups have initiated legal challenges, claiming government overreach. The controversy highlights a broader tension: how to ensure accountability without compromising institutional independence. As more universities face pressure, the outcome of Harvard's resistance may shape the future of academic governance and the role of federal influence in U.S. higher education.